Well, how's it going, everybody? It's been a long time since my last video. I just wanted to make another video. I've been vaping on the Arthas mechanical mod by Beyond Vape since the last video when I got it. Are you guys seeing this? It's all dirty, and I love it. Yeah, look. I love this thing. But it's not about that. I wanted to make a video to basically talk about the Sigelei I got from a friend of mine. It's just I wanted to go over some things. Maybe somebody would be interested because I talked about it on the last video. So I'm gonna take a toot on this and then go down. I'll show you a little, not specs wise. I'll show you what looks like from the inside. 50 I have a 0.3 ohm build. 0.3 build, 49 watts at 4.2. Usually I vape it around 3.9 volts to 4.5. I've tried to go higher than 4.5, but I get no flavor. I am also, you know, I don't want to say I chase clouds because I don't. I have a lot to learn that goes into it, and I need a lot of time. I need to go to one of these vape meets. The one in Southern California, the one that's going to be in San Diego later on this year, because I missed the last one. And I really wanted to meet a lot of YouTubers that I watch that went to that event. But I need to go to the comps. I need to learn from the masters, because they are the ones that know what the hell they're doing, first off. And I just try to mimic it as best as I can. And when I say mimic, I honest to God, like I really mean mimic, because I got juice in here. Because one, I sort of have an idea how to build my coils to my preferences. I don't know how to do builds in general for cloud comps. I do my builds off of flavor, off of what I think personally is the best way to do it. But I need to go and learn and yada yada yada. So right now I'm going to show you my coil build. It's on this, you can see the post on this clone is spinning. Let's get it. See that post? See how it's turning already? I do not like clones, but you know, plume veil clones are generally nice. Ooh. And I like the airflow option. I like the little airflow option from the center and from the sides. I got juice coming out from all over the place. Give me a second. I like to overdrip. I'm sorry. Alright, I think we're ready to dive down. I'm going to show you how this thing works and talk about my experiences so far with the Sigelei 150. I had this for a really long time, so we'll talk about it. This is my blue version of the Sigelei 150. So I've had a good 10 months of using this, and knock on wood, I've not had any problems with this so far. There's been a couple of instances, little tiny issues that I've had a problem with. It's nothing major, but like it's a nuisance either way. So this does come with battery ventilation system. The 510 connection is spring loaded. It's very stiff, and me personally, I like that because I know it's not going to be loose anytime soon. You run these in series, so as you can see, I've marked my batteries that I use together. I have another set that I use along with this, so I have a rotation battery. If I'm using these ones, I'll pull them out, put them in the charger, and place the other ones in here, use it, and just switch on and off every time I'm using batteries. Let me just take these batteries out. And I love this ribbon, man. This comes in really handy when you're taking out the batteries. It's just so it's a plus. Alright, so as you can see here, these are copper contacts, so it'll be a better connection wise for the batteries when you're placing them inside. Copper on both sides, positive, negative. So what I've been doing lately is, see how this one says 2B and it's labeled to the left or right in the video. Should be getting these down by now. I've been switching the placements on where I place these batteries now. So usually I would have 2A here because positive is up, positive goes in there, like so. And recently I've been running the 2A battery over on this side so I don't cause too much stress on 2B battery. Get what I'm saying? Because if you place these batteries in the same place running series and the stress is only happening to one of the batteries, it's going to permanently damage the other battery and versus damage both of them. So I would personally say, in my experience, to run them or switch them off every other, not every other time, but every 2 or 3 times you use the batteries in the same placement, switch it over and run it through 3 more series and then switch them off again. Because 2 months ago I realized that whenever I would put the 2A battery in the regular placement over on the left side, I would be getting significant battery lifespan drained quickly. And when I switched that out to place my other battery in its placement, I was getting a longer lasting battery life, and that's to be expected because I was putting a lot of stress on the other battery. That's pretty much it. The doors are held in by magnets, and let me put the ribbon in here. It's just a very strong magnet, and after 10 months these things are still strong. The only nuisance part is that if you have anything metal-ish, see how that is inside? I do a lot of builds on my desk. It's basically my office. But when I do builds in general and there's little fragments of wiring around, it'll get caught in there, and it's just annoying because I have to get that out. I'm just that type of person, you guys. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and put these batteries back in. See, when you put it in, the Sigelei light will flash, and you press it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll come up. It's not gonna show. What if I do that? And it'll say check atomizer because there's nothing attached to it right now. So if I go ahead and let's put my Limo drop that I recently got on here. And let's fire this up. See, right now I have a 0.6 ohm on my Limo drop. At 49 watts, I'm getting 5.7. I usually try to stay below that 5.7 volts, so let's get this down. I usually try to vape this at 30 watts, so 4.5 volts. Very nice. And maybe I'll do a future review on my Limo drop. I don't know. That's an if subject. But for now, you know, the reader works perfectly fine. I've never had any problems with it. The buttons for wattage up and wattage down, they work perfectly fine. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Yeah. They work perfectly fine. I mean, goes all the way up to 150 watts. And if I don't know personally anybody that does vape at 150, I don't recommend it because I've tried once. It's not a pleasant vape. But then again, nothing is pleasant for me over. I've not vaped anything over 65 watts. That's just my personal preference because my Plumeveil clone runs at zero point 0.2 ohms and I need 60 watts to get that good vape through 4.2 volts. But other than that, that's pretty much all I'm gonna talk about with the Sigelei 150. The battery life, it depends on you personally. Mine, if I'm running anything higher than a 0.6 ohm build with my Limo drop or an RDA, if I do a single coil build, lifespan is usually better because you have two batteries running in there, and a lower watt does drain the battery a little bit slower, so I get a little bit longer lasting battery with a single coil ohm build. Not just a single coil ohm, I shouldn't say that, maybe like a 0.6 and higher. But anything sub-ohmish, and I'm gonna say sub-ohming, my personal preference, like 0.5 and lower. With my Plumeveil, zero point 0.2 ohms, I can vape it maybe 2-3 hours, and the battery will drop to around 80% if it's fully charged and I take it right out of the charger. But I carry additional batteries with me. I've shown you my other batteries. I carry those with me just to be safe. I like to vape a lot now than previously because I like to build my coils. I like to test them out, the whole shebang. But if you build a sub-ohm build and you vape on it consistently, your battery life is to be expected to drain a lot faster. Whereas you're going to be building a higher ohm build, it'll vary. Depends on how much you vape and how much watt power you use to get your vape to that standard that you want to vape. I've been talking a while. That's the Sigelei 150. Let's go back out to my previous camera position. Let's just go with that. Anyway, so thanks for tuning in, you guys. That was my take on the Sigelei 150. Using it for 10 months now, going strong. I would, I really would like Sigelei to maybe try to improve the chip that's in the Sigelei 150, which is the SX330 chip, to maybe it could be incorporated in a way that you could use the chip to monitor the drainage on the battery from my personal experience to level out the fluency of the battery life. Because yes, if you're building sub-ohming, we should be expecting less of a battery lifespan. But then again, if Sony comes out with a better battery, which hoping they do, I'm not saying I would go ahead and buy a new Sony battery because seeing how the VTC5s, or the genuine ones that is, are $16 for one. And there could be other batteries that are maybe a little bit more expensive than the Sony VTC5s. But like I showed you, Samsung batteries that I'm using are pretty good. The eFast purple batteries of 35 amps are good to be used. Anything that has a continuous output of 20 amps is okay in my books. just be safe when you're vaping on this. This is intended for sub-ohming, but some people, it's not just for sub-ohming. I shouldn't say it like that. For me personally, I use this as a sub-ohming step to find out what I like around the, like I said, zero point 0.2 ohms. But some people like to rock their sub tanks on here, the Kanger sub tank, the Delta 2 that's come out recently, the Hercules. There's a bunch of sub tanks that just came out recently in the past month or two. But I see a lot of people rocking RDAs on here with low ohms so they can experiment on what they like. And it's genuinely safer because you have that added safety feature in the Sigelei 150 where it's reversed. It shuts down if it gets too hot, along with other safety protocols such as reverse battery protection. If you put the batteries in the wrong way, it won't fire. And it has venting, but I've genuinely never had the Sigelei ever go warm or hot on me because I genuinely don't chain vape. But if you are, don't get discouraged into not getting this. Get it. It has the safety features that a mechanical mod doesn't. Although with mechanical mods you need to be a lot more careful in what you build. That's why I tend to build with mechanical mods genuinely around the 0.5, 0.6 build. Because my batteries that I use on my mechanical mods are these IMREN batteries. I don't know, I'm not gonna even try to say the name. I use these batteries for my mechanical. It's 2600 mAh battery. It's a 38 amp pulse. I don't usually, and with pulse, I don't usually hold the button down for longer than 5 to 6 seconds, and it's good for me. But the batteries you can use, like I said, with the Sigelei 150, Samsung, anything that has a continuous output of 20 amps, you're good. Just be careful. You know, do your research. Like I said, have a general knowledge of Ohm's law for building, and just be safe, you guys. There's been a lot more instances with people not understanding Ohm's law and putting themselves in danger. Uh, and it just gives a bad name. I mean, Big Tobacco comes out and says vaping is not safe, and they use those examples because we're not genuinely careful about what we're doing. But do your research. Please be safe. Use the safest batteries possible. Do your researches, you guys. And that's about it. You know, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna have a good time using my Sigelei for many more months to come. Thank you for tuning in to watching the video. I hope I've given you some sort of form factor, just basic information, if anything, you take away from my video on the Sigelei 150. And thank you guys. I hope I'll see you soon. Let's enjoy our vaping time, you guys, and please be safe.